Welcome to the rundown for each team. The order of these introductions will be based on the team's strengths, so we'll be starting with the weak and ending with the feared godlike teams. I will be accompanied by voice actor Lanny Minella, since the teams have their descriptions recorded for them already. Let's get started with the teams of the week: SuperNova, Goliath, and Sunblade. Let's start off with Team SuperNova, who consists of Nemesis, Ariel, Wraith, Faith, Phantom, Nova, and Dragon, and team leader Parrish.
SuperNova, a team of mercenaries from the 7th Mercenary Fleet, has entered the tournament to pay off their debts to the Izanagi Corporation.
The next team to introduce is Team Goliath, consisting of Misery, Brutus, Fury, Outrage, Titania, Bullseye, Klingor, and team leader Rampage.
With the success of Gorge's Juggernauts in last year's tournament, Axon Research Corporation is now sponsoring Goliath in hopes of producing an all-Juggernaut finals.
And finally, wrapping it up for the weak teams, we have Sunblade. Their Egyptian team consists of Imhotep, Isis, Ramses, Diva, Hyena, Neferet, Scarab, and team leader Cleopatra.
Sunblade is comprised of former Temple Guardians and veterans of the Desert Legion. They see victory in the tournament as their only hope for burial and eternal life in the Valley of Kings on Luxor 4.
Next lineup we have are the tough teams, represented by FireStorm, Black Legion, and BloodFist. Starting off with FireStorm, their respective team members are Damaris, Makara, Komek, Farileth, Motig, Nebri, Selig, and leading this team is Makrith.
The Mokara are respected and feared as warriors. The Mokara's elite fighting unit, FireStorm, sends a team of their best soldiers to the tournament each year.
Next up, and my all-time favorite team, the Black Legion. Their team members are Harlequin, Fate, Brutalis, Succubus, Mortis, Domina, Samadai, and their leader, Abaddon.
The Black Legion is made up of the hideously deformed subjects of weaponized genetic mutation tests. This year they have a new leader, Abaddon, the current pinnacle of achievement of this line of experiments.
And for our chrome finish team, BloodFist, their robotic team contains Thorax, Syzygy, Widowmaker, Cobalt, Rapier, Corrosion, Renegade, and Mandible as their leader.
The only team in the tournament acknowledged to be entirely cybernetic, BloodFist's warriors have their programming upgraded each year and have become more and more lethal.
Surpassing the tough and becoming the strong, we have the Juggernauts, Iron Guard, and Hellions. Current tourney champs, we got the Juggernauts. Their genetically buffed team consists of Ambrosia, Frostbite, Reinha, Avalanche, Perdition, Sorrow, Jezebel, and their leader, George.
Gorge is determined to prove that his one-year reign as tournament champion is no fluke, and he has reassembled the Juggernaut team he led to the championship. Axon Research Corporation has made armor and biogenetic upgrades to the Juggernaut's design for this year's tournament.
Next we have the Iron Guards team. These veteran mercs consist of Lauren, Wraith, Mystique, Remus, Satin, Xantaris, Prism, and their leader, Brock.
Brock and Lauren joined forces with Malcolm during his reign as tournament champion. Infighting and recrimination over their stunning defeat in last year's tournament led to the dissolution of that team. Now Brock and Lauren have returned, leading their old team, the Iron Guard.
Mercs for hire, we got the Hellions. Their members consist of Rye, Gareth, Kayla, Breath, Outlaw, Kane, Baird, and Zarina as their rough and tough leader.
Once feared and reviled throughout human space as pirates and renegades, the Hellions seek to gain respectability as a mercenary outfit. They've entered the tournament to demonstrate their capabilities to potential customers.
Shedding off the layers of the strong and becoming godlike, we have these teams to fear: Iron Skull Skaarj, the Corrupt, and ThunderCrash. First off, we have the Iron Skull Skaarj with their brutal team of Drekorig, Dominator, Guardian, Garagod, Gublok, Skakruk, Craigish, and Clonlord as their brutal leader.
This year, the Skaarj Empire is represented by the Iron Skull Clan, who seek to regain honor after long being held responsible for the loss of the Skaarj mothership during the human Skaarj Wars.
Returning from hiatus, the Corrupt return with Enigma, Divisor, Virus, Matrix, Cathoid, Cyclops, Axon, and their anti-flesh leader, Zan Krieger.
Zan Krieger was long regarded as invincible until Malcolm defeated him in the 4th officially recognized tournament finals. After a long hiatus, he has returned to lead the Leandri team, the Corrupt, back to the championship. Zan is sitting out the early rounds, which he perceives as beneath his attention.
And to round up the Godlike team, we have ThunderCrash, with Tamika, Othello, Riker, Annika, Azure, Eris, Picard, and multi-tournament champ Malcolm. It'll be a shock to not see them win this year's tournament.
Following his well-publicized breakup with longtime teammates Brooke and Lauren, Malcolm has returned to lead his old team, ThunderCrash. Malcolm is currently rehabilitating an injury sustained in last year's championship match, but he is expected to be healthy in time for the tournament finals.
Now that we have introduced the teams and their members, let's go into a little bit more in depth about their leaders. Parrish, soft-spoken, intelligent, and attractive, yet extremely brutal in the arena. Parrish sets the hearts of many combatants racing for many different reasons. Rampage. It takes a special kind of person to survive the harsh environment of the Elarian penal colony. It takes another kind of person altogether to revel in it. Rampage is more than just a survivor. He's a predator with a sweet tooth for suffering. Once incarcerated, Rampage took to the tournament like a fish to the water, honing his combat skills both on and off the arena floor. The lack of firepower in the prison mines doesn't affect his training regimen in the least. Who needs a gun when you got the hands and teeth? Cleopatra. If you think Cleopatra and Asp have something going on, then you may be right, but it's not something you want to show up for unarmed. Makrith, a warrior maiden of the Yellowbone clan. Makrith proudly wears the death mask handed down through generations of her family. Her bared fangs and slit eyes have caused more than one opponent to freeze in fear for their lives. Abadan. Abadan, the leader of the Black Legion, is the result of extensive genetic manipulation experiments. The Sponsoring Corporation considered the experiment a failure, because although he is a highly efficient killer, the constant pain racking his body is expected to considerably shorten his lifespan, reducing the commercial potential for the technology. Mandible. Mandible's programmer thought it would be interesting to have his creation contemplate the meaning of life. 3 days and 76 bodies later, the automaton still lacked an answer, but had gained extensive knowledge of human physiology. George. It takes a special kind of person to survive the harsh environment of the Elarian penal colony. It takes another kind of person altogether to revel in it. George is more than just a survivor. He's a predator with a sweet tooth for suffering. Once incarcerated, George took to the tournament like a fish to water, honing his combat skills both on and off the arena floor. The lack of firepower in the prison mines doesn't affect his training regimen in the least. Who needs a gun when you've got hands and teeth? Brock. Fresh from the Interstellar Academy, a scion from the rich Martian family. It is rumored he killed his mentor during training, but had his father bribe the authorities. Can be a hothead, but mostly tends to do things by the book. Zarina. Zarina is the original wild child. She's a regular party machine and she often fights while intoxicated. She believes it gives her an edge. Clan Lord. The Iron Skull Clan Lord is feared and revered by the Skaarj for his unmatched fighting prowess. Zan Krieger. Former tournament champion, Zan Krieger is an almost mythical figure. His return from several years of isolation has been greeted with great trepidation by other tournament competitors. Malcolm. Needs no introduction. Most famous veteran of the tournaments. Recognized on every planet with the typical calm pride of the Earthborn and strong sense of loyalty. Malcolm is a true survivor and born leader.